Hey, what up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Alright, in this video, I want to talk for a brief moment about Taye Diggs and what he had to say very recently in regards to his dating preferences and black women. Alright, y'all ready for this? Essence Magazine, as well as a lot of other publications, have done a story about this. Basically, what happened was Taye Diggs was being interviewed on a podcast called The Red Pill. And the interviewer, Van Lathan, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And by the way, for those of you who don't know who Van Lathan is, you may actually know him. He's the black guy on TMZ. He's like the dark-skinned black guy on TMZ. Bald head, possibly a dark Caesar, but I think it's a bald head. I haven't watched in a while. Um, and he also, translates black stuff for like the unhip white people on the show, aka Harvey, right? So shout out to Van. But during this interview that they did, Van asked the question to Taye Diggs. The hero, I think that's how you say it, Grio, hero, or gyro, hero. So the gyro, or hero, did an article about it, and I'll read through it a little bit. I'll try to make this quick because I really don't think this is worth spending like a ton of time on. But basically, Taye Diggs is blaming black women for his dating woes. And the black community, especially black women, ain't really having it. They ain't having it. But Taye Diggs told the Red podcast, I think it's the Red Pill podcast, but told the podcast that he feels some type of a way and has some resentment that runs deep for black women because of the backlash he received for being in an interracial relationship and marriage with singer Idina Menzel of Frozen fame. Taye Diggs is saying, quote unquote, I don't want to suppress the resentment, but I just watch it. All right, so I guess he feels resentment towards black women because black women, I don't know. I don't know how black women keep getting dragged into these Taye Diggs situations, right? Even though Taye Diggs alludes to the fact that he feels resentment against black women, he's now saying he's attracted to sisters, and has now opted out of dating outside of his race. I don't even get this. All right. Taye Diggs added, quote unquote, even though you understand the logic, I don't know if I can mess with a white girl now. I feel like I've had to deal with that so long, it's changed what I think I like, what I'm attracted to. It's not where my eyes gravitate to naturally. Okay, he said a lot of stuff up in there that really needs to be addressed. All right. I guess he's saying, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm assuming this is some type of a issue stemming from black women perhaps feeling some type of a way initially when it happened, because it was like the flavor of the moment when he initially like married Idina Menzel. That did become like an issue for like a week, and then afterwards black women moved on, right? Black women unfortunately are used to this, so they ain't tripping. And plus, I don't think black women are really checking for Taye Diggs, like, like that's just the only dude that they can get. So apparently he may have been shamed into not messing with white girls now. I think it may be possibly because he may have had a bad experience with white women, or dating white women, or his ex-wife Adina Menzel. He may have had some bad experiences within that relationship, but now it's being placed on black women, right? All black women, like, oh, they're the reason, right? Also, I feel like I've had to deal with that so long. It's changed the way I think. It's changed what I think I like. So he's saying all these people, I guess, got into his head and changed his dating preferences now. It's a little odd. Um, I guess he got shamed. But to be honest, I think that dating preferences are shaped by more than just what we like. And some people might not admit to that, but I do think that dating preferences are shaped by society as a whole, whether you're dating against what society is saying or dating with what society is saying is good and right. So I think dating preferences are shaped by more than just ourselves. But on the other hand, if you like what you like, then you just should say that you like what you like. Like you ain't the first and you ain't the last. All right, you ain't the first dude who did this, and you ain't gonna be the last dude who did this. You ain't the first swirler. That's right. You know. And also, it seems like he's kind of like, okay, I guess I'll date black women now, and not even like excited about it or anything. Even though black women probably could see through it, but still, not even trying to sell it to black women or black people like that. It's just, oh, I guess, you know, they done shame me into staying in my own race now. It's like, he also goes on to say, it's not where my eyes gravitate to naturally. Black women aren't where your eyes gravitate to naturally. Shouldn't that be a little bit odd? I mean, I know that we all can like look at other folks of other races and see attractive people, you know, whether we want to admit it or not, you know. Yes, I can understand something like that, but as far as like, you know, starting, marriage, starting a family, having kids, this, that, and the third, I kind of think that's something where you should gravitate to naturally. But I think for Taye Diggs, he may have been, I think he was raised in like a majority white environment. So that may have had something to do with where his eyes gravitate to. But still, that's a little odd. But I have, I know I had a roommate in college who, um, you know, black, dark skinned black dude, who kind of was raised in like a majority white environment, and he said that he didn't really find black women like. I don't think he put it like that, but basically he preferred white men, white white women. My bad, women, and that he didn't find black women to be, or he didn't find them attractive, more or less. Something to that extent, though, right? And the article goes on to say Taye Diggs went on to blame another black woman for his dating issues, his own mother. They always like a lot of these dudes always like to bring it back to their mamas, right? Their mama made them do it, right? Um, Not so much the dads though. The dads they tend to be like, "Oh, dad didn't do anything," and I don't know his situation. I'm just saying though, it seems like the black mom is always being the one to put the blame on when it comes to these situations, right? But thing is though, when black women date interracially, I don't never really hear them say much about their black dads though. You know, one way or another, they just I don't know. I don't know. All right. Quote unquote, when I was 13, I was reading the magazine and there was a picture of a black woman. And I said, "Oh, she's pretty. I want to marry her." And my mom said, "Oh, honey, you're going to marry a white woman." It hurt my feelings, but she was right. All right. Let's assume what he's saying is true. It could be totally false and fabricated. He's an actor. That's what they do, right? But let's say that this is true. All right. So that one incident, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say it's more than just that one incident, right? But yeah, you notice how it's being put on black women, though, right? Like his mom saying, "No, you're gonna marry a white woman," and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, my mom wanted me to have light-skinned babies with good hair," right? She's the reason why this is happening. My black mama did it. These dudes be having low-key mommy issues. Like some of these dudes do be having mommy issues, though. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them do, right? You know, didn't like a couple of weeks ago, Matthew Knowles blamed his black mama, right? I don't know. Yeah. And he said it hurt his feelings, but she was right. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like a lot of the blame game with this dude. Right? Blaming everybody but his own self, right? And that's the thing. You like we gotta take responsibility for ourselves and what we like and what we pursue, etc., just as human beings. But especially in a situation like this, it's like, how many times can we just blame black women? And the thing is, I believe that Taye Diggs lived in a majority white neighborhood and was teased for his skin color by white people. So, because of that teasing that he received by white people, he gravitated towards white women. But let that have been the flip side. Let's say that he lived in the majority black neighborhood and was teased by black women or black people just in general for being, having dark skin. He would then be using that as an excuse to pursue anything but black women, especially white women. But notice when the white folks did the teasing, he still gravitated towards whiteness. He didn't say that black women teased him or black people teased him. He said that white people did, right? And he said that in like a different interview, not in this situation. But he said that a while ago. And it's like, I don't know if that really makes sense, but I'm guessing he was just trying to use, that white woman to help him assimilate into whiteness, which I think a lot of swirlers do that. They use their white partners to help them assimilate into whiteness, right? As sort of like their pass into whiteness, like a bridge into whiteness, their door into whiteness. They do that. But I don't know. It just seemed like Taye Diggs may have some issues that I think he just needs to take a moment or two and just really sit down and think about and work out, you know. And also, this is a bit of a sidebar, but at one point or another, Taye Diggs had released this book called Chocolate Me. And the book Chocolate Me was about kind of like a young black man, possibly adolescent age, trying to, you know, kind of like experiencing colorism and just racism, but then coming to embrace his, I guess, quote unquote, chocolatiness. Right? And that's the thing, too. I'm like, if you're referring to your skin tone as chocolate, and not just like on some, oh, ha ha, he, oh, I'm, being cool, being cute, la la la. Not on something like that, but like actually in serious situations, referring to your skin tone as chocolate, it's like Side eye, side eye, right? Because your skin tone is not chocolate, it's dark skin. It's like a brown, dark brown skin tone, right? So it's like if you can't even call it what it is, then are you really, you know, embracing it? Are you really good with your skin tone like that, as you may want people to believe? Yeah. And one more thing I want to mention. He also had another book called Mixed Me, which was about a child who was mixed and, dealing with issues about being mixed and coming to embrace his, I guess, mixedness, so to speak. Um, and like on the cover of the book, the child looks like this like light skinned, red haired kid. But I'm looking at his own kid, which I think who inspired the book, right? Because he has a mixed race son. That kid inspired the book, and I'm like, well, your son doesn't really look like this kid on the cover. All right. So like side eye for that. But notice like in that book, he didn't have to do anything to like fetishize it or dress it up. He just said mixed me. He didn't say like butterscotch me, caramel me, waffle colored me, or nothing like that, right? And then he went on this like weird campaign talking about his son is mixed and not black, and it's offensive when people refer to his son as black. Ooh wee. Like this kid gonna have issues, right? And also, I wonder who has custody of this kid. Is it like a 50-50 split, or does Taye Diggs have custody only? Because oftentimes, when I do see photos of like his son, it's usually just with him. I don't really see him with his mother or his mother and Taye Diggs. I just see it with him. So I'm like, all right, did Dina Menzel just be like, okay, you get custody, and just be like, okay, I done moved on from this Negro here. All right, my career done popped off. Now it's time for me to walk off. Shit. And another thing, I'd say that was the last thing, but this one is okay. I really need to say this though. Taye Diggs low key feels entitled to black women's support. You ain't did little nothing to ish, right, for black women. But he feels entitled to the support of the black queens, right? He feels entitled to them. And that's the thing with some of these swirlers, especially like the male swirlers, the black male swirlers. I think the black female swirlers, not as much. But the black male swirlers, when they swirl and they have like projects that are coming out, and like movies or TV shows, etc., right? They feel like they are entitled to black women to support their projects. They're entitled to black women's support. But you notice they don't ever go to the group of women like that they're dating, right? Like if they're dating a white woman, they don't ask for white women to support their projects. They know better than that because they know that how that's gonna go. They know better than to do something like that. If they were dating a Latina, again, they know better than to do that. Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever, what have you, right? Even mixed women who are part black, part white, they oftentimes don't specify, oh, the light skinned mixed girls support it. They just say the black women, right? And that's the thing, too. You have to realize, like, and I know, like, some people may possibly take offense to this, but it's just the real, though, okay? When you hop the fence and leave the community to date and to marry and stuff like that, you on your own in certain situations, at least. You on your own, right? Unless you can come up with some really great receipts about how down you are with the community, even though you ain't, with, Keisha, and you laying up with Becky, Mariana, Mayling, etc. Because they be feeling entitled, and low key, some other black men be kind of going along saying, like, trying to shame black women into the support, like the whole Nate Parker and Birth of a Nation film. That kind of happened. It's like, oh, black women are the reason why this movie tanked, right? Even though he's with a white wife, he has a white wife and like 5 biracial kids, daughters. But the black queens just have to, stand firm and just be like, hey, this is what happens when you leave the sanctity of the black queens. Bad shit happens to you, right? You open yourself up to a whole nother world of bad shit happening to you, right? And the same with black men, right? When some of these black women may be feeling entitled, um, like the girl who swirls crying over some white dude not liking her or something. That's what happens when you leave the sanctity of the black kings, all right? That's what happens. That's what you give up. You give up that protection, right? You can't have both. You can't have it both ways, right? And before I go, I will say that there are some swirlers who are sensible, who are realistic, and who aren't, on, totally just cooned out, wild ass coon on the loose, right? There are, you know, and who do just kind of just don't really be on this I hate black women or I hate black men type of thing. They're just, just going on living, their swirly life. Just really just enjoying their swirly life. They ain't got no animosity towards anyone. It's just for them. It's just possibly just how it may have just ended up for them, for some, right? But let me put this video to a close. I didn't mean to go on for this long, but I just had some things to say. So thanks for watching, you guys. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.